on this episode of Designing Spaces. When it comes to protecting your home or business, it all starts at the top. Today, we're showcasing a trusted roofing contractor who's been serving Louisiana since 2009. Plus lots more. It's time to design. Let's go. A roof is one of the most important parts of the home. It not only protects you and your family from the elements, but it also preserves the value of your home and everything in it. What are some things homeowners should consider when evaluating their home's roof or searching for a roofing contractor? Let's learn more from the experts at Premier South Roofing and Sheet Metal.
If I was a homeowner, of course, which I am, but if I was in their position, I would get a qualified roofer to inspect the roof before purchase. A lot of home inspectors move a little too fast, and ultimately they don't know the signs of the wear and tear, the buckling, the pop nails, the things that really wind needs only one shingle, one pop nail, and it's going like a domino effect in high winds. Biggest misconception is, believing what the wrapper says, right? And a lot of it, they look at the wrapper and they say, hey, it's a 30-year shingle, and Louisiana is far from perfect conditions. So ultimately, you'll never get what that wrapper says out of any, manufacturer.
Serving the community since 2009, Premier South Roofing and Sheet Metal provides comprehensive roofing repair, replacement, and installation services.
Sales, of course, is a big part of it, right? Just like everyone is, but it's ultimately the installation. The installation, installing every roof system to perfection, that's where we kind of hang our hat on. It's more of in the details, right? As far as having a superintendent on site, having quality control going behind them, hand nailing each shingle. It's a lost art. Everybody's about speed and ultimately, keeping the profits. And it's not about speed to us. It's about doing the job the right way. And we know that the guns are too powerful. We've always hand nailed. That's all we've ever done. But that's really what sets us apart, on top of having robotic machinery on the metal side and manufacturing our own metal. We believe in perfection. In every job, if it's not perfect, we're of course gonna fix anything and everything, but ultimately, we've brought the machinery, we've brought the installation to the next level. What would separate ourselves from competition is the installation, having our own crews working directly for us, and then how much we're involved in the community. It's all about the care, it's all about not trying to do it the fastest and put the money in our pocket, right? It's about this job today is the biggest job for us.
Big or small, there's nothing really that we don't tackle. We do everything from shingles to metal to slate, tiles, really just about anything you would want to put on a roof, we can handle. A lot of people don't understand just how important the installation is. They might think they're doing themselves a favor by purchasing, the highest end shingles because their buddy said it was the best, or the manufacturer said this is the best product out there, and they might cut corners on, the installation and who's installing that roof. You could have the best product in the world, and again, if it's not installed by somebody that's qualified, that's certified to install that product, that has a really good crew, that has a good superintendent that is really going to focus on that installation process. If you don't do that, you're really not going to have much anything at the end of the day. In terms of metal is going to outlast just about any other product on the market. It's probably going to last twice as long, if not longer, than a standard asphalt shingle, which is what you see on most people's homes. Secondarily, metal's really rigid and impact resistant. And a lot of the metal we're doing now, standing seams and the higher end stuff, is really beautiful, and they're going to add curb appeal, they're going to add value to your home, and they're going to last a really long time. Most metal is actually class 4 impact rated, which means it's going to hold up a lot better to hail hits, debris hits, all those sorts of things again. And if you inform your insurance company that you installed a metal roof, a lot of times they're going to reduce your premium, which is great.
We're primarily a Baton Rouge company. This is where the company got its start. This is where our headquarters are. Right now, we're stretched across the Gulf South, primarily in Louisiana. As a matter of fact, we just opened up a brick and mortar location in Lafayette. We've got an office in Covington. We service the North Shore, New Orleans, and we've got a Daphne, Alabama location that we're in the process of opening right now. One of the things that's important to us is our 3 Ps, really. We're going to focus on our people that we have. We're going to have streamlined processes. That way, it's cookie cutter. No matter what market that we're serving, our customers are going to get the same experience. And we've also got to put a lot of emphasis on our product, on our production. And that's what the customer gets at the end of the day. The weather in the Gulf Coast is pretty brutal. We're no stranger to some of the worst storms that pop up seemingly out of nowhere. So we've got to be able to not only react in those times. We've got to be able to service the community that's impacted by those storms. When these storms come through, you need to get your roof checked. You're not going to be able to see all the damage from the ground, and few people climb up on their roof. It's not really advised. So you really need to get somebody who's trained on spotting damage, who understands roofing systems, that can get up there and thoroughly inspect your roof and get down and give you a thorough assessment of exactly what kind of condition your roof is in after these events. In addition to just the storms that pop up, we have some of the most brutal heat, the most brutal summers. This can really cook your shingles, and it will reduce the lifespan of your roof. Weather's a big challenge to any business, as far as operating in some of the most inclement conditions, or whenever you've just got to respond to a huge need out there. And it's important that we react, and we react quickly. We stock a lot of our materials here on hand. That way we don't have to rely on some of the third-party vendors. Another thing we do is we keep our own crews and our own labor, so we don't have to go out to the labor market whenever they could be spread pretty thin. So having our materials, having our labor there really helps us to respond within 24, 48 hours sometimes. When we're getting repairs, emergency tarping services, or full re-roofs done faster than most. One of the main things you want to consider whenever you're shopping for a roofing contractor is who's going to actually be doing the work. Where do they get their crews? Many companies rely on the labor market where crews are shared. So the consistency or quality of work may not be there every single day. It also can harm a homeowner in the future if they need a repair. When you use your same crews, you can maintain a level of consistency and accountability with the work that you do. Our crews are all hand nail crews, so we're committed to hand nail quality only. We make sure that every single roof is put on, hand nailed, and it's the same quality day in, day out by the same crews. So you want to make sure that you're dealing with a local company. It's also important that you're dealing with a licensed and insured company. That's the only way a homeowner can make sure that they're protected.
To ensure a smooth and efficient roofing installation, the process relies on having a trusted team in place.
From the start, it's very important that our sales guys document everything correctly and making sure they set up the customer with the correct expectation, and then they get with their senior PCs, make sure everything's tidied up for them. Then once the job's ready to run, we make sure our scheduling team schedules accordingly. Then our material guys have to prepare the materials, load everything up in our truck, and then our super has to then make sure everything on site is correct and that everything in the contract is getting done. Our crews are trained quarterly, OSHA standards, making sure they are following everything. So every quarterly, we bring all the crews in separately and train them up. Then we have our supervisor out there making sure that we're tied off, our ladders are set up correctly, and we're also protecting the house, and that our ground crew are protected, either have a hard hat on or waiting for everything to come off. Safety is very crucial, especially in the roofing industry, that it can be very dangerous. So making sure all our guys go home the way they woke up this morning is very important to us. I enjoy working at Premier South because it's a team that really cares about the homeowner and cares about our quality and obviously safety. So that's really embedded in us from the beginning, and that's why I love working for this company.
At Premier South, customer service is very important. It's more than just for the customers, very much a culture thing. We like to make sure that our customers are taken care of from the very beginning all the way to the end.
What sets us apart from other roofing companies, I believe it's the variety of services that we can provide. And we're not just a roofing contractor, we're a residential and commercial roofing contractor. We can do a lot of our fabrication in-house, custom fit, seamless gutters, seamless metal panels for metal roofing systems, and really just provide a custom fit and more expertise on specialty roofing, versus the other roofing contractor.
So the sales estimator, they're the face of the company. They're really what you're seeing, what they're representing from yourself. They are going to be your point of contact on the project the entire time. Now, I'm there to back them up, keep them going, keep the project moving forward. On a general roof inspection, if they're just going to stay on the ground and not get on the roof, they're not really doing a roof inspection. Our process is we walk in completely around your house, do a 360 view of your house, make sure we're looking at every aspect from the ground, then we're going to get on the roof. Until you get on and actually thoroughly inspect it, that thing could be 20 years and just be fine, or it could be 5 years and be torn up completely. It just depends on the condition. We live in South Louisiana where we get weather all the time. It's 50 in the morning, 110 in the afternoon. So with that, you have expansion, contraction materials, and none of that's good for a roof. I would recommend at least a few years getting your roof inspected just in case, because the worst thing that's going to happen is that thing starts leaking and you got damage inside your house and more exponential damage occurring after that, mold, mildew, stuff like that, because moisture is never good inside. Options for your roof, man, that's just a growing field day by day these days. You have all these different polymers, plastic stuff coming into it, metal, shingles, all the different brands. Now the brands are expanding from impact resistant or higher wind resistance. And not only different grades of shingle, go different colors, different styles, different things like that. You can get a faux wood shake looking shingle, faux slate looking shingle, different styles, dimensions, stuff like that. Shingles are not the only thing that you need to worry about. Anybody can go buy some shingles in the store, put it on a roof. What really matters is somebody that's doing this qualified is putting a full system on your roof. When I say a full system, we're talking the hip and ridge cap shingles, the underlayment underneath it, stuff like that. The reason this is important because of the warranty issue is a big factor in that. And also, these materials are meant to be built with each other. They're designed for that.
Common signs that the roof is needing a full replacement instead of a repair is, of course, the flexibility of a shingle. When you walk on those shingles, you're gonna know as soon as those feet hit, right? And you're gonna say, man, this is like eggshells, or it's got flex, and of course it was just flashings or pipes or things like that improperly installed or not changed upon the prior re-roof. So, as far as those conditions, as soon as you get to that job, as soon as those feet hit the actual shingle, if it's not pliable, then there's no way to repair it.
When we're talking about repair in place, we have to have a conversation with the customer on what the cost is to repair this roof, what the cost is to replace this roof. If we're going out and we're going to have a $5,000 repair and your roof is $20,000, you need to probably weigh that into your considerations. So it's probably down the road in the next year or two, you're going to have another repair, and then another repair, then another repair, because your roof is doing nothing but aging and getting worse. That's kind of where our estimators come in, what they're trained in on doing those pros and cons of doing that, and assessing the issues of homeowner and figuring out what situation they're in to try to make them accommodate them best we can.
I'm a superintendent here. I tend to the jobs. I go over each job. I basically dissect it. Less problems I have at the job, the easier the job is going to go. I have my own philosophy. I have my 5 Ps. Proper planning prevents poor performance. Pay attention to your detail, your outcome will be successful. So after I go through all of these details, I'll contact the customer the evening before and let them know that we're going to be there right about 6 o'clock with the crew. We walk around the house and we look at where the air conditioning units are, what needs to be covered, what needs to be protected. And then the guys go over a list, a safety list. We're very safe. We work very closely with our Safety Smart team, which is the liaison between us and OSHA. So safety is number 1. The homeowners can come out and they're at awe when they come out because they can see the transformation of their house from beginning to end. And depending on the house, your normal house down here is probably 40, 42 squares. We can get that done in one day. That's start to finish, clean up, And most of the customers say, you left my yard cleaner than it was when you arrived this morning. I pretend the roof is mine. If I don't like something on that roof, I'll have the crew come back and redo it.
Premier South Roofing and Sheet Metal offers more than just traditional roofing services. Their expertise extends to sheet metal work, gutter systems, and custom installations too.
In terms of fabrication capabilities, we can really do just about anything, and that's one of the things we pride ourselves on. We can really do anything from small stuff like custom flashings, and then getting into chimney caps, awnings, gutters. We're making it in-house, and we can really get a great fit and finish for our customers. A seamless gutter is basically, it's in the definition, right? It's a gutter that doesn't have a seam. So in our world, in roofing, you don't want seams. Seams equal leaks, or at least potential for leaks. So an example would be, if I need to put 50 foot of gutters across the front of my home, do I want to buy 10 5-foot pieces and have 5 seams across that gutter? Or would you want a continuous piece that's not going to leak?
At Premier South Roofing and Sheet Metal, delivering exceptional customer service is not just a goal. It's a core value that drives every project we undertake.
What we hear a lot is just the ease of going through the entire process. They love the cleanup. It's just wonderful to see a smile on their face when they see that transformation. And we're in neighborhoods so often that everyone waves, because everyone knows my truck, everyone knows me in the subdivision. It's like, here, John, you worked on this house over here. I want you the superintendent on my house to make sure everything goes correctly. I'm like, no problem. It's basically just the ease and the cleanup, and they don't have to worry about anything.
When somebody calls in and they're frustrated or upset or they've got a leak or warranty issue, one of the first things that I try to do is I put myself in their shoes. How would I want this situation to go? So I try to listen to them first of all, hear their concerns, figure out what we can do to make things better as quick as possible, get someone out there quickly, take care of everything, follow through. We just want to make sure that at Premier South, we're making customers for life. And by doing that, we're gaining their trust. We're making them feel like they're a part of our family and taking care of them as part of that.
Commercial roofing is typically more complex than residential. The team at Premier South is well versed in the unique challenges, materials, and strategies that go into commercial roofing.
So as far as commercial, again, we do everything large and small, whether that's, the smallest repair on a restaurant or a fast food joint, all the way up into large schools or, re-roof type situations. And we can do anything from flat to metal roofing to Spanish tile, slate, just about anything you could come across, we're capable of doing. And it's really great because you're not gonna have to, as a customer, go to this group of people for this service, or another contractor to get your sheet metal, or a third one to get maybe some trim carpentry done. It's great to have a larger contractor you can work with that can do all those things in-house and pass that value and that savings on to those customers.
Being actively involved in the community is an important part of the culture at Premier South Roofing and Sheet Metal.
Giving back is super important, right? This community and the whole Gulf Coast of Louisiana, Mississippi, and now Alabama, we do so much for the community, but they do so much for us. Just last year, we did over 40 re-roofs for nonprofit. Reason why we did it, A, is because we've been doing it for now almost 10 years, but B, you get into a widow's house, a veteran's house, and they can't provide, their son or their daughter aren't around, and you hear the story, with somebody in a wheelchair rolling around with buckets in her house. And if you're blessed, and able to give back, it's a no-brainer, right? To give back to the community that gives back, so much to us. We did right over 2,000 roofs last year. We're blessed with, our clientele and our word of mouth just getting around, and doing those things is really doing God's work, but ultimately it's blessing and kind of giving those blessings back to the community that really need it. Our team is definitely different, and it's from the inside ladies that are, answering the phones on out to the QC and the superintendents and the job sites, along with our management, making sure that every person that calls, they are the most important. The magic happens in the field, right? Whether it's helping the guys make the right call on, does this, need to be replaced or can we repair it? We have a lot of people in here that are great at what they do on making sure when it gets to that starting point, that job's perfect. And then us in the field, we make sure from the starting point to the checkered flag, it is perfect.
Want to know more about Premier South Roofing and Sheet Metal? Visit premiersouthla.com and visit us at designingspaces.tv. For more information about anything you've seen on today's show, or to become part of Designing Spaces, go to our website, designingspaces.tv.